All right, our guest this morning we've been talking about all week long, and I'm very happy to welcome Debbie Gibson to the show this morning. Good morning, Debbie.
Good morning.
You know what? I got to tell you, we've been watching the clip of the movie that's going to be out this Saturday night on the Sci-Fi Channel. Mega Python versus Gatoroid.
Unbelievable, man. It's so cool.
And the clip that they gave us is between you and Tiffany doing a very, very, let me just say, I got very excited watching this cat fight.
It was vicious.
Oh, it's like Dynasty 2011.
Because it was like...
You know, I joke that, like, people will say, you know, what's the plot of the movie? And I'm like, basically, it's Tiffany and I in hot dresses slathering banana cream pie on each other, and we roll down a hill into a swamp and try to save the planet. What more do you need to know?
Now, can I
Pull each
just...
other's hair. What was that?
Can I just be slightly inappropriate with you one moment in a nice way? Okay,
Go
check
for it.
So obviously, you know, when you did that Playboy spread, let me just say you have the most fantastic hiney of the 80s, just so you know.
Thank you. Yes, before Beyonce and all the bootylicious girls. You know, it's funny, my younger sister designed for a jeans company for a long time.
Sure.
And we used to joke that she would make the Gibby booty jeans because I have 3 sisters, and we all have that booty. And we were like, we need jeans that fit, you know, I'm Italian. I'm an Italian girl born in Brooklyn. And, you know, us Italian girls have some booty.
Yeah. No, well, you've done it.
Thank you.
Done very well. Very well, Debbie. So tell us a little
thank
bit.
You.
See, I'm getting all flustered now because I'm getting excited.
Yeah, now it's getting awkward.
I have to walk away very slowly and carefully. So with the movie, how did you team up with Tiffany? Now, first of all, is that rivalry real, or is it something that's made up for the press?
Oh, it's so made up. I mean, to this day, going back 10 years, it was Britney and Christina, and it's Demi and Selena, and, you know, she and I really didn't even have time to think about each other except for the fact that our names were brought up in the same sentence all the time.
Sure.
But we didn't know each other. You know, I had her album. Look, I was a teenager, too. I was a fan of hers, and I always felt like it was a camaraderie and a sisterhood because we were really the only 2 girls doing that at the time.
Sure.
And, you know, we would cross paths briefly and kind of go, "How are you holding up? Good. How are you holding up?" And you know, but now all these years later, we just love the idea that people kind of had this fantasy of this rivalry, and that we get to play it out and give people what they want.
You know,
and have fun with it.
And of course, you guys are still very involved in your musical careers. I know you're getting ready for a tour overseas.
I am. I go to Japan in 5 days and do the Billboard Awards there and do some tour dates and she and I both have, like, never stopped performing. We're always doing shows, and we actually performed together for the first time the other night in New York at Canal Room, and it's all over YouTube, so you can check it out. And we do our hits, and then we ended with "Don't Stop Believin'" because there was this 80s cover band, Rubik's Cube, that we got up and jammed with it. It was so fun, and again, it was so fun to see the 80s fans kind of like, oh my God, they're in the same room at the same time, and they're not killing each other.
I have a Tiffany story. I talked to Tiffany a few years ago on the radio, and I went to see her. We actually went backstage. My wife and I went backstage to where she was. She was in Connecticut, and I had to go to a gay club to see her in Connecticut.
Of course you did. We're very big with the gays. In fact, I'm doing a gay cruise right after Japan.
No kidding. You know, you have a lot of fun. You have a lot of fun with
my
your
boyfriend's dismay. I'm spending Valentine's Day with my gays.
Well, if I may, speaking of gays, the girl that I'm seeing, she actually just texted me, you know, and she just said she's having dirty thoughts about you at this exact moment. Her name is Mary, so she's just like, oh my God.
Love it.
Jeez.
Well, yeah, after this movie, I mean, you'll see me slathering whipped cream on Tiffany's fabulous boobs. I'm sure it will do that a lot for some women.
and you're okay with that, which is what I like. I mean, you don't even know. So I was just wondering if you guys have ever thought about, since you are kind of friendly and everything, and with this movie, of course, you've spent a lot of time together. Have you guys ever thought about maybe doing some sort of duet or something?
Well, you know, the idea of doing a duet came up for this movie, but we're musically so different. In fact, we both ended up contributing a song for the movie, and shameless plug alert, they're both up on iTunes. Hers is called Serpentine. Mine is called Snake Charmer. There's a theme here, people.
Okay.
There's like so much you could write about, you know, snakes and alligators. And Gatoroid, nothing really rhymed with it, so we both went the snake route. But, you know, mine is like a kitschy, campy big fat gay dance song, and hers is kind of like a down in the bayou kind of country rock thing, which she's so great at.
Sure.
But with that said, again, sharing the stage was so much fun that we kind of were like, wow, we've fought this our whole lives, but it could be fun to team up because she can do her thing, I could do my thing, and then we could do stuff together. So you never know.
It'd be a very interesting.
Never.
It'd be a very interesting concert. Let me just tell you, I think it'd be very cool. I think you get a lot of people, who grew up listening to you guys in the '80s. I mean, I'm a child of the '80s, so I'm all about the '80s, man. I love that time period, but it'd be kind of a cool show. I think I really.
It would be cool. What's funny too is that now, I have an 18-year-old niece, and I did something in Quebec a couple of years ago with Rick Astley, and then again in Singapore recently, and she was like, Aunt Deborah, you know Rick Astley? And I'm like, you know Rick Astley?
And you know what?
It's like the 80s have come full circle.
No kidding. And he's a funny. It's funny you brought him up because I've always thought to look at him, you wouldn't think that voice comes out of that person.
Oh, my God, I know. And still, to this day, he has that big, rich, booming voice, and he sounds great. But yes, looks a little howdy-doody.
Yeah, just a little.
It's so funny. Yeah, he looks like, kind of freckly Irish boy, and he's great. He still sounds great.
Now the movie.
Yeah, the 80s kind of. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
No. Go ahead. The 80s thing.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, everything is secular, and 10 years into a career. By the way, I'm on a cordless phone, and I'm about to switch. Yes, people, this is live. Wait, hold on here. Okay, and we're back.
Nice.
But yeah, 10 years into a career, you're not cool. But then 20 years go by and you're cool again.
Right.
It's just, it's like I look at people like Cher. It's kind of why you just have to stay in the game, do what you do, and things just come back around.
Sure. Now, going back to the movie, it's going to be Saturday night, 9:00 on Sci-Fi Channel. Is it intended to be kind of a campy, kitschy kind of movie?
Oh, yeah. It is so funny because we did a screening at the Ziegfeld in New York the other night, which, first of all, I was dying because I'm a New Yorker, and I was like, okay, I went to the Passions of the Christ premiere here, and we're actually going to watch Mega Python on the big screen, and my over-the-top acting, but which was even more over-the-top on that screen. But, yeah, the audience was cackling, and it was funny because Mary Lambert directed it, who did Pet Sematary and all the great Madonna videos we all grew up with. And, when she was directing us, she would have us do some takes that were kind of serious, and then she'd have us do some, psychotic, over-the-top takes. And some of those takes, she used them, and it is so funny. Because she knew just when to go for the, okay, let's make this so bad it's good moment.
In the sneak peek that we saw.
It's really fun.
Yeah, just as an example of that, in the sneak peek that we saw, there's the cat fight between you and Tiffany, which is, again, phenomenal. Okay? Thank you very much for that, And then at the end of it, you guys, and Topher and I were talking about, you guys end up in water, which is thank you, part 2. And then,
yeah.
And then at
the swamp, have to do it.
That's right. Yeah. And you have the best line at the end of the fight. Tiffany says, did you hear that? Debbie turns around, looks at her. No. I think we're alone now.
Yes.
How good
we mock our songs. It's just, life is way too stressful. This is something that everybody can gather around the TV and laugh at. And it definitely, with a title like Mega Python versus Gatoroid, definitely doesn't take itself too seriously.
Excellent. Debbie Gibson, thank you for being on the show. We really appreciate it. Mega Python versus Gatoroid is a Saturday night. It's just funny to say Gatoroid. 9:00 on Sci-Fi. Thanks a bunch,
Thank
sweetheart.
you, Debbie.
Thank you.